Well, Charles, tell us how you started this project with Kreplach.
Kreplach, my Kreplach project.
Mm.
First of all, I must tell you, it's a wonderful project. It's one I've always wanted to do.
Mm.
Ever since Debbie's grandmother fed me Kreplach.
And at what age did that occur?
Oh, I was very, very young. Almost a baby, about 24.
Oh, a youngster.
Yeah.
Mm.
And as Debbie doesn't make it, I thought I'm going to make some Kreplach. And what I did was I took a recipe book, I found a recipe for Kreplach. And I have started by making the dough.
Well, that's a good start.
Thank you.
And do you feel that you need a certain method to make the dough? Do you need to knead the dough? Do you need to have strong hands? Do you need to...
Well, I don't think it mattered to me. It was quite easy to make, but it wasn't a learning experience for me because I found that it was very, very sticky and that you need to use a lot of flour to get the dough to work eventually. And it's really a lot of trial and error that goes into making dough. And eventually I could feel the dough was just right.
Well, you need to know if it's just right. You must be a good cook then.
You can feel it with the texture and the fact that it doesn't stick to your hands anymore. And the proof will be in the making and the eating.
Yes.
You see how good it really is.
Now this was just part one. Part two will be tomorrow, and what will take place there, Mr. Meyers?
Well, what I'm doing is I'm keeping the dough in the fridge overnight.
Yes.
That was on the recommendation of one of Debbie's aunts.
Which aunt was that?
Auntie Mary.
Auntie Mary.
Also a very good cook. Sure.
You could have made it in the vacuum.
Yes, but that's not fun.
Now, Debbie, if you're going to participate in this video, we have to see you. You have to come out of the house.
I want to, but I'm sort of compelled to because I can't get all the
And since it was your very own granny's,
who
well,
actually
thank you for
love Krip.
well, thank you for joining us, Debbie.
It's a pleasure.
Can you add anything to Charles's historical analysis of Kreplach making?
Not really. I'm waiting to taste it. And I'd like to take some video of you with your new hairstyle. Would you like to come and sit here so that we can show you with your new hairstyle?
No.
Come on, Anne.
No, I'm shy.
And why don't you film me doing one of my favorite things?
Drinking.
Whiskey.
Out of a plastic glass.
Out of a plastic glass.
How classy.
That has got to be totally LCP.
What is CP?
LCP is low class palate.
Oh, low class palate. I thought it was.
I think what I should tell you about the Kreplach though is that when Debbie's grandmother used to make it,
Yes.
she used to make two different kinds of Kreplach.
Yes.
The one was boiled
Yes.
and the other was baked. Am I right?
No, fried.
Fried.
Oh,
Now-
which one did you like better?
I actually like both, but the boiled was really nice. But the baked was interesting. The fried was interesting. And I wouldn't know how to begin to make fried Kreplach. That's something I'd need to
I
find
could
out.
make.
Could you?
Just fried it.
Now, Debbie, did you like the fried or the regular?
I was never a great lover of kreplach. I always found the dough too wet.
Oh, so that's why you've never really made it and you've left it to your husband to
I don't
do.
mind kreplach, and I used to eat them. We used to have them for starting off the fast, always. But so I used to eat them because they were there. But I was never a great lover of them. Just like I never liked farfel soup.
Farfel soup.
Have you ever had farfel soup?
Yes.
Couldn't
And
even
I'm not a
bear
great lover of farfel soup either.
Now we're in for a big surprise tomorrow. Besides the Kreplach,
Oh my
I
God.
spoke to Debbie's mom today.
She's
Yes.
making beetroot.
She's making borscht for tomorrow.
What for supper? So why
Well,
we got
she's
so much?
she's making it for Wayne and possibly for me.
So we don't have to eat it tomorrow. We can have it sometime.
No, we
during
can
the
have it
weekend.
anytime.
Well, then rather not, because otherwise it's going to spoil the supper on Friday night.
Is that her speciality or?
Well, we didn't know it, but
I
it's
didn't know
become a
she-
speciality.
I didn't know she could make it, but
Yeah.
she made it
good.
about 2 weeks ago, and it was wonderful.
Ah.
Wonderful. Now Debbie's grandmother used to make that as well. And of course, we must mention that Debbie is now making her grandmother's bulkas.
Bulkas.
Yes.
Cinnamon buns, that is.
Ah, cinnamon buns. Well, we don't have any more cinnamon buns because Wayne advised us this morning that he was eating the last cinnamon bun on
Well,
earth.
I'm going to make on Saturday so that we've got some for Sunday's Coopership reunion.
Oh, well,
And talking about Sunday,
yes.
your mom phoned and wants to know if you invited your Auntie Mary.
Yes, I'm phoning her. I haven't managed to get her, but I am going to. But her problem is that she goes to the concerts on Sunday night. She'll just have to miss a concert.
Well, let me stop here
Okay.
and we'll see what this test run has been like. Good morning, Charles.
Good morning, Anne.
I see that you're beginning the fascinating task of preparing the dough for the Kreplach. Can you give us an idea of exactly what you're about now?
Well, I have rolled my dough
Yes.
and I've prepared my mince by frying, or should I say oiling some onions and the mince and browning it.
Yes.
And I'm now cutting the dough and putting meat in the middle.
Can you hold up one of the Kreplach?
This is a piece of dough that I've cut.
One moment. Okay.
And
And-
I've got another piece that will cover it.
Yes, and then you stick the
Yes, and then I stick a little bit of mincemeat into the middle, like that, and I cover it, and I roll
edges.
the edges.
Fascinating. When did you first have your first Kreplach?
Well, I did tell you once before that it was round about when I was 24 years old, but that's not true. I think it was when I was about 18.
Uh-huh.
I think what I have to do is I need to tidy these kreplach if they're going to look anything like Debbie's granny used to make.
Oh.
I'm going to have to tidy my edges. But there's a little one that I finished,
Well, that's wonderful.
and that's going to end up being boiled.
Yes. And what do you use for the boiling substance?
Well, I'm going to boil it in water with a little bit of chicken cube, and I think I'm going to put a little bit of veg into the boiling water as well, just to give it some flavour. That's my own decision.
Now, what caused you to start this project? It's an unusual one. Usually people go to the store and buy Kreplach, and here you are making it from scratch. It's wonderful.
The reason I'm doing this is we've never made it at home, and I've always wanted to make it, and as nobody was prepared to make it, I've undertaken to do it myself.
So you're a real self-starter in these things.
Well, if I don't do it, I don't think it'll ever get done, so that's why I'm doing it. I think what I need to learn is how to do it neatly. I'm a little bit untidy. And I think when one prepares food, food should look neat and tidy. And
Well, this is your first
this is my
time,
first time. Yes,
so you learn, get the knack of it.
yes. And I think what I'm doing is cutting off the little edges, just making it neat and tidy, getting it to look more like a bit of a triangle. That's what they always used to look like, little triangles. And we'll see how it comes out.
How many do you think this batch of dough will,
I think I'm going to get about 18.
oh, lovely.
That's my phone. And I am working this morning. Yeah.
Well, we'll stop for a moment while you take your call.
Thank-
Sorry, I'm filming. Wayne, well, how about getting in the picture with your dad? You want to watch what he's doing?
And just in case they don't turn out good, I don't want to associate myself with them.
With this effort, I see. Well,
I'm confident that they'll actually work.
well, I think this is a real,
Who are you on the phone to?
I'm off the phone.
this is a real modern odyssey here on the cell phone making Kreplach.
Yeah. It certainly is.
Now, Wayne, I think you should watch so that you can carry on this tradition that your father is initiating here, straight from your granny.
Okay. We have a few more pieces here.
Yeah.
And let's do that like that, and let's do that like that. And let's see if the triangle looks better when we actually do it in the form of a triangle. This dough I'll flatten, and we'll make some more.
So you're pleased with the consistency of the dough, I imagine.
And my dough's good.
Mm.
My dough's really good. You know, one wants it to look like it looked when it was done by the grandmother.
Yes.
I'm not sure how she used to fold it, and I hope what I'm doing is correct.
Well, she may have used a bit of water to soften the edges and make them stick.
Mm. Yeah, there must be tricks of the trade that I'm not aware of, but we'll see what happens.
But sometimes these tricks of the trade will come to you sort of naturally when you're making it. Because they're usually not complicated tricks. So have you tasted your meat? How does it taste?
No, I don't think I need to taste the meat.
No?
The meat will be all right. It's been browned with onion and salt, so it should be quite tasty. And it's going to boil in boiled water, so it should be fine. These actually remind me of little spinach dumplings.
Or ravioli.
Ravioli.
This is the Jewish ravioli.
It is.
And we can thank Marco Polo.
Will it work?
Yes.
Will it work?
Now, I know you mentioned, I think it was in our last segment, that you could also fry these.
Yes, they would obviously be made the same way I'm doing them now, and then just dropped into the frying pan. And
Now, when you put the kreplach on the plate, do you serve it with anything?
no, you serve it in the soup. You can eat them just like they come out, but usually they were put in the soup and served in soup.
Mm.
And as we've always served the soup, it came in the soup. We didn't have to help ourselves.
Excuse me.
Okay.
Well, this could be the start of a new cooking and teaching career for you, Charles. Because I can see you enjoy doing this. And I know you're going to go on to bigger and better things, different recipes.
Yes, and by the way, this is my what's the word? My I can't think of it.
Your maiden effort.
My maiden effort. Okay, how many I've got? 3, 6, 9, nearly a dozen, and I think I'm going to get about 2 dozen out. Yeah. Now I'll re-roll this.
And put a little flour on the,
Yeah, I've got some flour on the table already.
yeah. And you're just using a plain rolling pin.
Plain rolling pin.
Well, you know, I always said that that's probably the best. You know, you go in stores now and they advertise marble rolling pins and all kinds of fancy stuff. But the good old wooden rolling pin still works like a charm.
Okay.
Well, I see that as you're rolling it, some of the meat has been rolled into the dough, and that's kind of cool.
I'm not worried about that because
It'll probably increase the taste of the,
it will make it just as tasty. Here's a piece. And there's a piece. And now what we will do, see that we have enough pieces to come out. There's a piece.
well, you could see where this could be an all morning or all day affair if you had a large family.
Definitely. That's why Debbie's granny used to spend mornings cooking. And what I'll do is I'll turn that one into an individual like that. Put some meat in the center and then just roll it. Too much meat. Okay. There's another one. I don't think the meat is all that important because the dough's got a wonderful taste in itself. And the fact that there's filling in it just helps
Adds
it a
to
little.
it, yeah.
Adds to it.
Well, you know, in America we have someone named Mr. Cook,
Yes.
and he's Jewish, and he does Jewish as well as regular recipes, and he sort of started out like you did. And he,
Often I believe that one shouldn't really watch the cooking and just do the tasting. There we are. We will still not waste that because we will use it all.
waste not, want not. I think also you mentioned that The dough tastes really good, and it, as my grandmother was wont to say, it has tom, or
Yes.
taste. And Jewish food invariably has that tom to it if it's made correctly.
That's right.
Because it's not fancy, it's plain food, and usually good for you.
Well, I think I'm learning as I go along and I'm improving.
Yeah.
It's going a lot quicker. And we're going to get another 2 more out, and that will give us perhaps the 18 I thought we'd get in the first place. Let's put a bit of dough on here to cover that up.
Now, when you put it in the boiling water, how long are you going to...
Half an hour.
Half an hour.
Mm. Okay, we have one more we can do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Would you believe it?
18.
18.
Good guess.
It was a good guess.
Well, you have a very spacious kitchen, and this counter is very good for doing the kind of work you're doing here today.
Yes, but we want to modernize our kitchen a little. It's a little
Oh, really?
It's a little old. It needs a bit of modernization.
And so what are you going to do with it? Tell me.
Remodel it completely.
Mm.
Remodel it completely. And this little bit of dough can go in just as dough. And that's it for the moment. And now it's ready to boil.
And we'll watch you put it on the stove, and then we'll close this segment. And the next segment will be when you take out the finished product and serve it.
Well, what I'd like to do now is I'm going to just ask my domestic to help me and give me a pot to do this in,
Mm-hmm.
and get the water boiling.
Yes.
So we can stop for a moment. Once it's boiling, I'm going to put that in for the half an hour.
So your domestic assistant will
Will give me a pot to use,
yes.
and I will then commence with the boiling of my Kreplach. What I'm doing now is quite silly, but I'm doing it. Okay, there we go.